It's the time of the year again, Black Friday pickups. In today's video, I'm going through everything I grabbed, and there are over 30 games here. Some of the deals were honestly hard to believe, even for me. But before we jump into the Black Friday stuff, I want to start with games I picked up earlier. Let's kick things off with Red Dead Redemption. About 10 days before Black Friday, the price suddenly dropped to $10. I honestly thought it was because the PS5 version was about to be announced. However, when Black Friday actually started, the price went back to $25. I was so confused. The deal was literally worse during Black Friday. And yes, it's now confirmed the physical copy does get a free PS5 upgrade. $10 for both editions, less and easy pickup. Noob the Faction List is based on a French web series and plays like a classic turn-based JRPG. You follow a group of MMO players trying to reach level 100. It looks groovy, but the gameplay is surprisingly old school and story focused. I really like the concept. Definitely one of those niche titles most people don't even know had a physical release. Next up, 3 games from Outright Games, my favorite publisher. Matchbox Driving Adventures is a family-friendly driving game inspired by the Matchbox toy cars. The only catch is the car selection is really limited, which is the #1 complaint from players. I'm actually glad we got a Monster High game this late in the PS4's life cycle. If you were trophy hunting back on PS3, you definitely remember the series, right alongside the infamous Hana Montana game. Scrotum Secrets is based on the newest version of Monster High, and it's a simple adventure game where you explore the school, do little quests, and grab an easy play now. I have been joking about Outright Games for years, even though I buy almost everything they publish. However, I have to say, SpongeBob SquarePants, a Patrick Star game, was below my expectations. It's a 3D platformer where Patrick finally gets the spotlight. And funny enough, this is the only SpongeBob game I have actually enjoyed so far. Next up, we have Atelier Yumiya. Well, another Atelier game added to my backlog. This time around, there's no time limit, which I think is the right call. Time limit mechanics have always felt like one of the worst features in gaming history. Atelier Yumiya has been getting generally positive reviews, but I don't think it caught nearly as much attention as the Rise Up, which makes it feel like a nice under-the-radar gem in the series. Scarlet Salvation is a third-person shooter with roguelike elements, and a lot of players compare it to Returnal. I wasn't planning on picking it up at first, especially after seeing some of the negative reviews. But after watching the trailer, I thought why not give it a shot. It has a few elements that interest me, so here we are. Next, I have a pretty niche series, Hidden Object 7 Unsolved Case and A Royal Romance. Both are collector's edition, one includes 4 games and the other includes 3. The best way to describe them is point and click puzzle games. If you enjoy very relaxed gameplay, this series delivers exactly that. These physical releases are not easy to find since not many places carry them. So it actually took me a bit of work to track both of them down. Here is another collection from GS2, Creepy Tales Double Pack. It includes Ingrid Penance and some other plays. These are 2D puzzle adventure games with gameplay similar to Limbo. The first time I heard about the series was on Switch. They gave the first 2 games for free. As a physical game collector, seeing a physical release on PS5 is definitely great. I've been getting more into collecting simulation games lately, and Truck and Logistics Simulator is another one I picked up. In this game, you are not just driving trucks across a large open world, you are actually managing the entire delivery process from start to finish. It even has co-op and online play, which is what most players say they enjoy the most. Here's a totally blind buy, Endzone A World Apart Complete Edition. It's a pretty challenging survival city builder. I love the city building part, but the heavy survival focus means this one can get tough fast, and you can really tell from the rarity of the Platinum Trophy. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty stressful game. Destroy All Humans 2 Report is the remake of the 2006 cult classic. You still get the same over-the-top alien humor, but now rebuilt in Unreal Engine with updated lighting and character models. It's a franchise I've heard people talk about for years, but I never had a chance to try it myself. Luckily, I managed to snag this one for a pretty good price. Another Xbox pickup, Astrid Ghost Curse of the Stars Deluxe Edition. This one is a Greek and Roman inspired action RPG with light Souls-like combat. Not too punishing, but still very skill based. I actually didn't know it was developed by a Taiwanese studio until recently. It definitely has hidden gem potential. Now let's jump into the actual Black Friday pickups. I have to say, this year wasn't very exciting. Like I mentioned before, Black Friday these days just feels like another regular holiday sale. You don't really see those killer deals anymore, and some discounts stayed around even a week after Black Friday. And don't forget, Red Dead Redemption jumped from $10 back to $25. What kind of deal was that? I picked up Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster and Forbidden West Complete Edition. Not gonna lie, I'm still not sure if I made the right call with these two. First off, I totally forgot I could get a Zero Dawn digitally for just $10. I prefer physical anyway, so the extra $10 didn't really bother me. But honestly, I didn't enjoy it that much when it originally came out on PS4. Still, I do want to see how it performs on PS5 with the upgrade. As the Forbidden West, I am not a big fan of how heavy the DI approach was, which is why I skipped it at launch. But with the complete edition at a decent price, I don't mind giving it another chance. Next up is Tales of Graces F Remastered. I missed this one back on PS3 and it's always been one of my biggest regrets. This game has one of the most beloved high-speed and aggressive battle systems in the entire Tales franchise. The PS5 version upgrades resolution and performance, making this the best way to revisit it. Gale Guardians Servants of the Dark is a spin-off of the Gale Gun series and the sequel of Demon Purge. It's a 2D Metroidvania with a heavy focus on exploration, unlocking abilities, and the classic backtracking. It is on the shorter side, but really high quality if you like a retro style action. Plus, it has a fun local co-op mode. I'm trying to collect every Mana games on PlayStation, but I hesitated with Visions of Mana. It's bright, colorful, and has fast-paced combat, but it also gets repetitive later on, and it had some technical issues at launch, so I decided to wait for the price to drop before grabbing this one. We have got a couple of beautiful games here, Gris and Niva. I finished Gris on Xbox before. It's an emotional artistic platformer with stunning watercolor visuals. A short experience with a big impact. Niva, from the same creators, is their new action-adventure game about a woman and her wolf companion. Minimal dialogue, strong emotions, and beautiful art. It's very narrative-driven with a lot of environmental storytelling. I'm really glad both games received physical releases. The Messenger is another critically acclaimed title, and the PS5 physical release sparked a lot of discussion. It's one of the best retro-style indie platformer ever made. Fast, responsive gameplay with sharp humor. However, the game is pretty challenging, so I was a little worried going in. Mind's Eye is a very high-profile and controversial title. It's an action-adventure game that generated a massive amount of hype due to its creator, but unfortunately it had a very poor initial release. With all kinds of issues, it just didn't meet the expectations. I recall they gave out a free starter pack recently, but players are still angry about it. Totally Spies Cyber Mission is based on the rebooted Totally Spies cartoon. It's a live-action adventure game with stealth segments and engaging minigames. It honestly looks like something Outright Games would publish, but it's not. I grabbed it for $10, so honestly, not a bad deal at all. The Neo collection includes both games along with all the DLC. I'm not the best when it comes to skill-heavy combat games, but I still want to give Neo a chance because I really like its setting. I've heard so many good things about the series, and with everything bundled in one package, this feels like the perfect time to finally pick it up. Farming is a brand new action farming RPG. Instead of crops, you are actually growing monsters and sending land into battle Pikmin style. It's a unique mix of farming simulation and real-time combat. The Day 1 edition also comes with a soundtrack CD and an art book. I also grabbed a DualSense controller in Cosmic Red. First off, Cosmic Red looks so much better in person than it does in photos. At this point, I have 4 DualSense controllers, which is more than enough for my trophy hunting needs. Unless an amazing deal shows up, I am probably set on DualSense controllers for the next few years. I finally picked up Elden Ring. Souls-like games are not exactly my strength, so I usually avoid them. However, I have heard people talk about this game non-stop for years. At some point, that just makes you want to try it for yourself. I picked Death Stranding's director's cut earlier this summer, and honestly, this is a game I have been avoiding for years. Since I finally decided I want to tackle it, I figured I might as well grab PS4 edition also. It was only $10, so that was an easy pickup. Just like Elden Ring, I wasn't interested at first, but after hearing so many people talk about it, you eventually start thinking, alright, maybe I should see what the hype is about. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is not your typical Yakuza game. This one feels more like when Yakuza meets Skull and Bones. It still has the classic minigames and the real-time beat-em-up combat. However, the whole pirate concept is a bold move and definitely gives the franchise a fresh look. We can all agree that Dragon Age The Veiled God is a flop. Like I have said earlier, I'm not a fan of games that go too heavy on DEI. I have mentioned this on the channel many times. Developers really need to understand who their audience is. Listening to people who don't even play these games never ends well. Look at this franchise. It went from Game of the Year to a complete bummer. Anyway, the deluxe edition was only $10, so for that price, I don't mind giving it a try. However, this is a pretty humiliating situation for a AAA title that's barely a year old. Let's wrap these pickups with 3 Switch games. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is the full remake of one of the most beloved Mario RPGs. New visuals, quality of life improvements, and the same legendary writing and humor. For many players, this is peak Paper Mario. Next up, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Zelda finally becomes the playable hero. It's a top-down action adventure game with a really clean, charming art style. Having Zelda as the main character is honestly one of the most creative ideas the series has had in years. And finally, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. It's the HD remaster of the original Wii platformer, sharper graphics, smoother performance, and all the extra content from the 3DS version. This is actually my first Donkey Kong game. I always thought the series looked pretty tough, but many players see this as one of the best modern DK adventures. You have to start somewhere, right? That's it for this year's Black Friday pickups. Today, we covered 33 games and a DualSense. I still haven't received all my Amazon orders yet, so I guess I'm waiting until after Christmas. I don't know what's going on with Amazon lately. This is my last pickups video of 2025, so we will see each other again next year. Alright, take care and I will see you soon.